be that way. It's possible.
I don't know. Since my serious face makes Marianne laugh,
Yeah.
it doesn't have its intended effect. Okay. This is 23SU01574A, Sumter Township versus Tammy Weskovic. May I have your appearance, please?
Yeah, thank you, Judge. William Mays on behalf of Ms. Washkovich. State your name.
Tammy Waskovich.
Thank you.
Judge, we're here for sentencing today. We've reviewed the PSI and we've discussed it extensively. There's also a case, and I just called Rob Young. I popped out into the hall thinking I was going to do a pre-trial, and there is no Sumter Township prosecutor here today. He is here on Thursday. I've got a couple of cases with him this Thursday, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I've got a couple of cases with him coming up quick. But in any event, there's a misuse of 911. Maybe it's charged by somebody else, but I think
It's charged by Sumter, and it was added to this court's docket as a show cause for her failure to appear. No, I'm sorry. There was a delay since from August 10th of 2023, and it was put on today's, huh? Did you say really?
Yeah, I thought that I thought it was a new case and I was going to represent.
Let's do what you're scheduled here for, and it is a little confusing. The case you're talking about is from July 6, 2023.
Well, that is before I knew her, so. We were intending to actually contest the 911, but.
Well, I want you to look, you'll take a look at the file when we're done, but for the case that we're scheduled for today, there was an offense date of December 21st, 2023, at which time she was charged with operating while intoxicated. She appeared before this court on February 8th, 2024, and entered a plea of guilty to the reduced count of operating while visibly impaired. As is this court's policy with drinking and driving offenses, the matter was referred to the probation department, and Mr. Grant, the court's probation officer, developed a sentence recommendation. The court has reviewed that recommendation in its entirety, along with the probation information sheet, the needs assessment, the police report from the day of the incident, the criminal history, and the driving record of your client. Mr. Mays, have you had the opportunity to review that information with your client?
We have.
Any additions, corrections, or deletions?
Judge, we object to the probationary recommendation on this file. So the underlying reason for the traffic stop in this case, the other case as well, her husband filed for divorce. Her husband dialed 911. This is all something that is, yeah, there is alcohol consumption, but the officers who stopped her based upon the 911 call. There's no accident. I reviewed the videos. Frankly, there was no bad drive. But she had consumed alcohol, which is why she entered this plea, because good, bad, or indifferent, she had violated the law. But the reason why she even left the house that evening was, again, because of her husband. I guess that the situation has been rectified. The divorce has been dismissed at this point. I am concerned still about the ongoing nature of the relationship between you. But it is not because of an underlying drinking problem, it's because of an underlying marital problem. I'm hoping that that is resolved at this point, but probation is not going to do her any good. As a matter of fact, probation will be contrary to any goals that she has because of work and employment. She's the working person in the household. And this has caused her to lose a couple of jobs in the interim. And it's just going to be an additional stress that complying with a probation meeting, that sort of thing, is going to cause. And if you do impose probation, I would ask that at least you waive any sort of monetary requirements for monitoring, because that, in addition to everything else, is just gonna be disastrous for her. So. Would you like to see?
Thank you. Mr. Grant, is there anything you'd like to say, sir?
The fact that the defendant did advise me that alcohol has had a negative effect on her life was a bit of a concern. Her blood alcohol level of 0.14 and stating that she did not feel intoxicated at a 0.14 and decided to drive were all concerns for me. That is why I asked for the 12 months as well as the rest of the conditions of these bond or the conditions of the probation.
Thank you. Was there anything else, Mr. Mays?
No.
Thank you. The court, in reading Ms. Weskovich's own statement regarding what happened on that night, the court does respect and understand the anxiety that could arise with your mother's condition, your daughter's pregnancy, preparing to leave to go to work in a different state with all of these other stressors. And the fact that the reporter of her drinking and driving was her husband, that Mr. Mays, you now indicate that they have since reconciled.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's maybe too strong a word. You hedged it a little bit, but in any event, the fact that she was driving with an open bottle in the car and left the house in this heightened state of emotions, the court believes that probation is necessary, that it would be helpful and would allow her to maybe develop some better coping skills. The court will adopt the recommendation made by Mr. Grant and place your client on 12 months of reporting probation with the associated oversight fees of $40 per month. The court will also impose a fine of $300, cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee. There's $125 in restitution to Sumter Township Police Department. That's a total of $1,150. The court will also order 24 hours of community service that will be completed within the first 6 months of the probationary period. If you already have a nonprofit organization that you're associated with where you can get the hours done, great. If not, reach out to Mr. Grant or the court's probation department. We maintain lists of nonprofit agencies where you are able to get those hours done. You will not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages or non-prescription, controlled, or mood-altering substances without this court's approval. You will submit to random ETG testing a minimum of twice per month or as otherwise directed by the court's probation department. You will make regular equal monthly payments of the fines, costs, and oversight fees that have been assessed. And ma'am, the court is able to have you contact to or be in communication with the collections department. They can set a payment plan in this matter. Mr. Grant will be in contact with you, if not later today, then sometime tomorrow. There'll be documents for you to review and sign that will formally place you on probation. Mr. Mays, I'm sure we'll have a conversation with you about the fact that if you've done everything else you're supposed to do within the first 6 months of probation, you may contact the court's probation department and make a written request to be discharged early from probation. If there is anything you need, any support you need during the course of your probation, be in contact with Mr. Grant. He is available by phone, email, or in person. If you are having any difficulty at all, it's a lot easier for us to correct course when there's a little stumble versus you failing to report, testing positive, not making payments, or not completing your community service hours or the substance abuse treatment. Was there anything else, Mr. Mays?
Yeah, Judge, I would ask that you dismiss the show cause on the 911 again.
Hold on. Is there anything else in this case?
No.
Okay. And then 23SU007310M. This is the Sumter Township. Your request, we are dismissing the show cause in that case. Yes, sir.
So, I talked to her about this case, and I thought that if this case was viable defenses to it, but if she's already entered a plea, then I guess there's not much that I can do about it, but I would suggest of course that this isn't really a violation of that, whatever it might have been that you imposed for that case. If it is still active, I'm more than happy to defend it.
It was a case where she appeared with Royce Nunley, Mr. Young, in front of Judge Green and entered a plea of guilty was 6 months delayed.
So we can't.
6 months and there's no cost.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's probably why she thought it was still active. So here, again, this relates to the whole ongoing marital thing. She had dialed 911 and she was upset. And when she got there, or when the police arrived much later on, she had left the house at that point. She returned later on. I would ask that the court just dismiss the show cause. I guess since it was 6 months under advisement, would be closed at this point.
It appears that the conviction may have entered because this case was the second case. The second case that we're handling this morning was actually first case in time. It happened in July. And then the drinking and driving case was in December. So within that 6 months, she did incur a new criminal offense within the state of Michigan. So it appears that the conviction will enter, but the show cause has been dismissed. If that makes sense to you, Mr. Mays.
Is there anything else that's open or active here?
I did not receive, usually if there's some other case that she has, there would be a long white sheet attached to the front of the file. Mary Ann can take a second to type in her name. And if there's something else outstanding with the court, she will advise her of that or advise you of that. That concludes these matters this morning, but Mr. Mays, as soon as she can get JIS up, if you want to wait a moment, and we'll see if there's something else. Other than that, Mr. Grant, I will be in chambers until Ms. Patton arrives and is ready to start the violation docket.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Has it changed? And that's still good.
Yeah, no, when I got back into it, yeah.
Okay. It's actually. No, the only thing you need to do is go downstairs downstairs to collections and they'll shut your house. And then just keep an eye out for your email. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I'll be right back out.
All right.
That's fine, but I don't want you to pay off your entire times of cost and then not do it. So if you're capable of doing that, that's fine. Otherwise, just take a payment plan so that you're able to go and do substance abuse or do the testing. I don't want you to call me and say I don't have $20 to test or whatever it is. No, AA is different than substance abuse treatment. That's in that email that I send you probably tomorrow, just because I've got quite a few going today. Will break down everything that's part of probation, and it'll give you, there'll be attachments for you to take a look at options for each of those. And then if you have questions at all, feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. And we'll go through it. Yeah, no problems. That's what I'm here. That's my job. But let me get that first email out to you so that you have all that documentation in your hand. You could go through it and then jot down a bunch of questions. Give me a call. We'll go through it. Sound good? All right. So, all right. Yeah, just keep an eye out, let you know, and then report to collections right now. So, okay.
Does she need to do anything else this one?
Just the payment plan collection. Outside of that, it'll be my email.
All right.
Thanks. So it must be some confusion that this order, so I didn't tell. Josh. So I sent her some more. Verify this. Yeah, no, that was my bad, so. Right. Yeah. Yeah. No.
34th District Court is now in session. The Honorable Lisa Martin.
You may be seated. Two 0531 FY, State of Michigan versus Amanda Atkins.
Good morning, Your Honor. Teresa Patton appearing on behalf of Amanda Atkins, who is not present.
Thank you. Ms. Atkins was scheduled to be in this court back on March 4th, 2024, and failed to appear. The court then entered a bench warrant. She appeared and was arraigned and was scheduled to return this morning. Case was scheduled at 9:30, it being now 10:56 by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear again, bench warrant shall issue. The bond that had been posted is forfeit. Bench warrant will issue again, 5,000, 10%. Would you please sit up in that back row for me, please? 2307650 OD. This is Van Buren Township versus Fulton.
Teresa Patton, Your Honor. Mr. Fulton also is not present today.
Matter was scheduled for 9:30. It is now 10:58 by this court's clock. The defendant was last scheduled to be here on April the 8th, 2024, and failed to appear. Mr. Fulton has failed to be compliant with his drug testing positive, failing to make payment in these matters. Bench warrant shall issue 5,000, 10%. This is 2300621 OD. This is Van Buren Township versus Zion Graham Williams.
Or would you like us to step to the podium?
Yes, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Teresa Patton appearing on behalf of Zion Graham Williams, who is present and standing to my left.
Good morning. State your name for me, please. Thank you. Today was scheduled for violation of the probation. In this matter, the court did receive a report from Anthony Grant of the court's probation department indicating that Mr. Graham Williams has failed to enroll in alcohol education, failed to begin community service, tested positive for marijuana on April 19th, 2024, and missed the test that was scheduled for April 23rd, 2024. Ms. Patton, what say you to these violations?
Your Honor, I've spoken with my client and he's aware of his options to have a hearing in this matter. He does not wish to do so. He wants to plead guilty to the violation with an explanation. He has now completed some of the things that are on the list that he had failed to do. Particularly, he completed the alcohol education class and he is scheduled for some community service today.
Mr. Grant, do your records reflect completion of the alcohol education program?
I don't have any documentation showing that as of today.
And Mr. Grant Williams, Ms. Patton has indicated that she has advised you of your right to have a hearing in this matter.
Yes,
And you're waiving that right, entering a plea of guilty to the violations.
yes, Your Honor.
The court accepts the plea of guilty. Ms. Patton has indicated you've completed the alcohol education program. The court will direct that you provide that documentation to Mr. Grant along with the community service hours. As for the positive test, Ms. Patton,
Your Honor, he's pleading guilty to the positive test for the marijuana, Your Honor. I will let the court know that he has subsequently obtained a medical marijuana card, so we're asking for the court to approve his use under the medical marijuana card, Your Honor.
Mr. Grant, any comment?
As far as the approved marijuana, I just did look through my file. I thought he sent me something. It may still be in my office. So I'd request that I have a copy of that as well for the medical marijuana. And reference the rest of it, I would ask that the court give Mr. Williams an additional 8 hours of community service, and we'll review this 30 days out.
Any comment, Ms. Patton?
No, Your Honor, I've already communicated that with my client.
Thank you. Sir, your plea of guilty has been accepted. The court will extend your community service hours by 8 hours. And if, as Ms. Patton has indicated, you are scheduled for community service today, please provide documentation confirming the completed hours to Mr. Grant for today's community service hours and subsequent hours. Please continue making the payments as previously directed by the court. And if you miss another test, that will result in another show cause. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything else in this matter, Ms. Patton?
Your Honor, just for my records for when I follow up with Mr. Graham Williams, what is the total number of community hour service he is supposed to complete?
32 hours now.
And that's including the 8 additional?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And that next review date will be
June 3rd.
back on the 9:30 docket, back in person, and the court's probation department will mail notice to you of that new date and time at the address you verified, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else in this matter,
No,
ma'am?
Your Honor.
You're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. This is 2307640D. This is Van Buren Township versus Massey.
Good morning, Your Honor. Teresa Patton appearing on behalf of Mrs. Massey. Good morning.
State your name for me, please.
Mariana Massey.
Thank you. Today is the day and time scheduled for the probation violation hearing. The court is in receipt of violation information from probation officer Anthony Grant that indicates that Ms. Massey tested positive for alcohol on March the 24th, 2024, despite the fact that when she was arraigned back on November 2nd, 2023, she was ordered to not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages. And when sentence was imposed on January 8, 2024, that same restriction was put in place. She has also tested it positive for THC on April 29, 2024. Ms. Patton, any response to these violations?
Your Honor, I've spoken with Ms. Massey about the alleged violations, and she's aware of her right to have a hearing on this. She wishes to plead guilty to the violations, Your Honor, with explanation. She understands the gravity of her requirements with the court. She is apologetic about what happened. Life has been a little bit rough, and she didn't handle it quite the right way. She wants to assure the court that she is back on track. She did complete her substance abuse treatment as the paperwork states, as well as her community service. She's up to date with her fines and costs and plans to make another payment on today. We would just respectfully ask the court to continue probation for Ms. Massey. She is gainfully employed as well.
Thank you. Ms. Massey, you had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Patton. You understand your rights in this violation hearing,
Yes, Your Honor.
and you wish to waive those rights and plead guilty to the violations.
Yes.
The court accepts your plea of guilty. Mr. Grant, any recommendations in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor, just back on probation, I asked for an additional 8 hours of community service and for her to continue testing without incident, without any positives.
Any comment, Ms. Patton?
No, Your Honor.
Ma'am, the plea of guilty has been accepted. The court will add 8 hours of community service in this matter and will indicate that additional positive tests for alcohol could result in additional violations and a period of incarceration. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything else in this matter, Ms. Patton?
Your Honor, my client indicated to me that she may have been due to be discharged from probation May 15th. Is that correct?
She was on track to possible early termination. She would have been just over halfway through with the 9 months of probation that she was placed on January the 8th, 2024.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a good day. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
230962 SM. This is State of Michigan versus Jody McWhirter.
Again, Your Honor, Teresa Patton appearing on behalf of Ms. McWhirter.
Good
Say-
morning, Your Honor.
Thank
Jody
you.
McWhirter.
Thank you, ma'am. Today is the day and time scheduled for the violation hearing in this matter. The court has received violation information from probation officer Anthony Grant that indicates that Ms. McWhirter tested positive for alcohol on March 28th, 2024, despite having been arraigned on January 10th, 2024, and being ordered not to purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages, and being sentenced on January 17th, 2024, with that same restriction. On March 24th, 2024, with that same restriction being put in place. Ms. McWhirter has also failed to complete or document community service hours. She has tested positive for alcohol twice since she has been on probation. Ms. Patton.
Your Honor, I've spoken with Ms. McWhirter about her right to have a hearing. She wishes to waive that right and to plead guilty to the violation with explanation. She is pleading guilty to the positive alcohol test on March 28th, 2024. However, she says she is unaware as to why she would have tested positive on April 2nd of 2023. She doesn't know how long alcohol stays in her system, and she is adamant that she had no alcohol at the date of March 31st, Your Honor. She's not sure why that test was positive. She has started her outpatient treatment with GrowthWorks. She showed me that paperwork today. I did let her know she needs to provide that to the probation department. She's also stated that the reason she has not started her community service hours is that she's called several places, and she's either on a wait list to get community service in, or was told that there was no need for it at the time. They had no event scheduled. So she is actively seeking an agency to complete her community service, and wanted to let the court know that she is back on track and that she is taking seriously her requirements placed on her by the court.
So I'm sorry, Ms. Patton, she's denying that she would have tested positive a second time?
No, just- I didn't understand that.
At this time, that she is not denying that.
Okay. Ms. McWhorter, you had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Patton, and I understand that you're waiving your right to have a hearing in this matter, and you're entering a plea of guilty to the positive alcohol test
Yes,
and the failure to complete the community service hours.
I'm not sure why.
To the violation of not starting your community service.
That was, I had a fractured pelvis, so I had a bit of an extension on that. And I just returned to work last Monday. So that's what I'm saying. I started trying to do it like about 10 days ago to get into the community service. But
Okay.
that's why I hadn't started it yet. I wasn't completely.
Understood. Thank you, ma'am. Any comment, Mr. Grant?
She has supplied the documentation for growth work showing that she did do the intake there. So at this point, just back on probation, we can set a review date for 30 days out. And for her to continue with the substance abuse education and testing without incident.
Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the alcohol positive. We'll continue on probation. We'll schedule you for review on June 3rd at 9:30 a.m. back here in person. And ma'am, if you find yourself having difficulty again completing any of the terms of your probation, please be in contact with Mr. Grant. He's available by phone, by email, or in person. Is there anything else, Ms. Patton?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. McWhorter, you have a good afternoon. Notice of that review date will be mailed to you at the address that's on the file, okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Take care, ma'am. This is 2304580D. This is City of Romulus versus Courtney Ponzik.
Good morning, Your Honor. Teresa Patton appearing on behalf of Ms. Ponzik.
Oh, Courtney Ponzak, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Ponzak. Today is the day and time scheduled for the violation probation hearing. There is a violation information from probation officer Anthony Grant that indicates that Ms. Ponzak has tested positive for alcohol on March 12, 2024 and April 9th, 2024, despite having been arraigned on July 20th, 2023 and being ordered not to purchase, possess, consume alcoholic beverages and to be on sober link, and then appearing for sentencing in this case on October 2nd, 2023, the continued prohibition against consumption of alcohol, appearing in this court for a violation hearing on February 5th, 2024. Ms. Patton, your comment as to the violation information.
Ms. Ponzik is aware of her right to have a hearing. She wishes to waive that right and plead guilty to the violations, Your Honor. She has stated that she is back on track with her sobriety, and she is working towards completion of all of the requirements. She's already provided documentation for her mental health as well as substance abuse treatment, and she actually paid her fines and costs off today in the amount of $775. She has provided a receipt to that effect. We are asking the court and probation to continue her probation.
Thank you. Ms. Ponzik, you've had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Patton. You understand you have a right to have a hearing in this case,
Yes, Your Honor.
and you wish to waive that right and plead guilty to the violations.
Correct, Your Honor.
Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the violations of your probation. Will continue your probation in this matter. Any comment, Mr. Grant?
Your Honor, I would ask for an additional 8 hours of community service and then to continue testing with no misses or positive tests.
Any comment, Ms. Patton?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. The court will add 8 hours of community service, Ms. Ponzik, and continue your testing. Should you have additional positive tests in this matter, you could be subjected to a period of incarceration. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Anything else, Ms. Patton?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Posick, you're free to go. You have a good day. This is 230799 SM. This is State of Michigan versus Victor Stokes.
Good morning, Your Honor. Teresa Patton appearing on behalf of Mr. Stokes, who's present and standing to my left. Please state your name for the record, sir.
Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Today is the day and time scheduled for the violation of probation in this matter. The court has received violation information from probation officer Anthony Grant that indicates that Mr. Stokes has failed to begin his anger management and failed to make payment of the fines and costs that were imposed in this matter. Ms. Patton, your comment as to these allegations.
I've spoken with Mr. Stokes about the allegations. He understands his right to have a hearing in this matter. He wishes to waive that right and plead guilty to the violations with explanation, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Stokes, you've had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Patton regarding these violations and your right to have a hearing.
Yes.
And you wish to waive your right to have a hearing in this matter and enter a plea of guilty to the violations.
Yes.
The court accepts that plea of guilty. Ms. Patton, what is the explanation?
Your Honor, in regards to the anger management, Mr. Stokes had not completed it at the time that the violation was initiated. However, he stated that he completed his anger management on yesterday. He did show me a picture of a certificate that said he completed anger management. He's not sure if the location forwarded that information to the probation department or not. I did let him know that he needs to check with Mr. Grant to make sure he has that documentation, and if not, he needs to provide it. In regards to the fines and costs, Mr. Stokes is having a bit of a trouble financially. He lost his job at McDonald's about 3 weeks ago. He is in the process of interviewing for new jobs, but until then, he does not have money for the fines and costs at this time. He is in school. He is at Asher School in the 12th grade, getting his diploma online, so he is working towards the betterment of his future. We would just ask the court to give Mr. Stokes some time to make his payments. He states that he believes he'll be making a payment on May 10th.
Thank you. Any comment, Mr. Grant?
If Mr. Stokes has gotten a completed anger management, and if he could get that documentation to me, I'm fine allowing his probation to end at the end of this month and turning him over to collections. But if he's unable to provide that, then I think we need to extend his probation.
Mr. Stokes, will you be able to get that proof of completion of anger management to Mr. Grant by the end of this week?
Yes.
Do you have it on your phone or on your person right now?
Yes.
I'll walk him through it. If he could send it to me, then I'm fine just continuing his probation to the end of the month.
Thank
We'll turn
you.
him over to collections.
Mr. Stokes, so long as you get the information to Mr. Grant, the court will discharge you from probation at the end of May. Anything else, Mrs. Patton?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. And then, Mr. Stokes, once your probation is closed out, the matter will be referred to the court's collection department. You will be able to continue making payments, but probation will be ended, okay?
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is 230489 SD. This is State of Michigan versus Darren Reed. This case was scheduled for a violation hearing at 9:30. It is now 11:17 by this court's clock. Defendant has failed to appear. Bench warrant shall issue 10,000, 10%. That concludes this court's docket for the date. We stand adjourned.